Here in Scotland, we have 6 weeks of school holidays in the summertime. I have 2 girls, one school age and one preschool age, and it means that they have 6 whole weeks with nothing on. Most of their clubs and activities that they go to stop over the holidays too. So that's 6 whole weeks stretched ahead of us with nothing on that we need to fill. We're not going away this year either, so it means that we have the whole 6 weeks to fill this year. And I've been caught out in previous years by not planning ahead and just having that whole stretch ahead of us, and it can be really daunting. So this year I have been more organised and I've planned ahead, and I thought I'd share with you what I've done in case it can help you out if you're stuck for ideas of how you're going to fill your holidays. So I've broken this video down into the steps I've taken to make sure that we have lots of fun things planned for the holidays ahead of us, so we're not sitting thinking, how are we going to fill these 6 weeks? And most of the things that I've planned are kind of cost effective. They're not overly expensive things, because if you were going to be doing that for the whole 6 weeks, then it would cost you a lot of money. So we've tried to be quite conscious of our budget. We've tried to plan things that don't cost too much, things that are suitable for both children. Like I said, Caitlin is school age. She is going into secondary school after the summer, and Elle is just preschool age. So it's quite difficult to find things that they both like. So we've tried to kind of make sure it's things that they can both do as much as possible. If you're someone who prefers to read about these things, I have written a blog post to go alongside this video, and I will link it in the description box so you can go and check that out if you prefer to do it that way. And I've just listed all the steps and added some photos. But if you want to watch this video, keep watching. If you're not already subscribed, I would love it if you'd subscribe. If you think any of your friends would enjoy this video, please share it across social media so that other people can enjoy it too. And yeah, let's get straight in and I'll show you how we've planned our summer. So step 1 of this planning process was to create a visual holiday planner. I've got mine stuck up on my fridge behind me here. I'm going to zoom in and let you see up close what this looks like, but you will see that I have put the days of the week across the top of the page, and I have put the weeks down the side. Like I said before, we have 6 weeks of summer, so if I was to have used a normal calendar, it would have been broken up into 2 months, because it goes across 2 months, so it wouldn't have all been in one place, and I wanted to make sure that all the weeks of the summer holidays were all in one place so we could see it at a glance, the whole holidays, if that makes sense. It was really important that we made it visual because Caitlin can read, obviously, because she's going to secondary school, but Ella's preschool and she can't read yet. So I wanted to make sure that I used loads of pictures and graphics so that she could see what we have coming up and what we've done. That was really important to me, and I tried to make it a bit fun and colourful, but you don't have to be overly artistic, just stick within your capabilities. So if you want to make it more colourful, you can use some felt tips, you can use stickers, do whatever you want to make it fun and colourful. You can make yours any size you want. I wanted mine to be really big, so I went to Hobbycraft and bought some big pieces of card specifically for this purpose. I can't even remember how many sheets were in a pack, but it was a pack of white large card for £2. A good money saving tip is if you want a really large one and you don't want to have to go out and buy paper or card, you can go to like a DIY store and get sampled wallpaper and just use the back of that, and then you'll end up with a really large space to make your calendar. And it's really fun to get the kids involved, so I kind of planned mine out with pencil and drew in the basics, and then I let the kids help me to colour it in and make it a bit more fun. Step 2 is to fill in any pre-planned dates that you have. I'm pregnant at the moment, so I've got things like midwife appointments or scans, visits to the hospital, that kind of thing. You've maybe got things scheduled like kids' haircuts for going back to school. So any set dates that you have, pop them on your calendar first. If you can do some kind of picture or graphic so that your children that can't read know what it means, that's even better. And then it means your child can have a look at the calendar and see what they have coming up and they know what to expect. And a little tip here is to make sure that you schedule in things like buying school uniform for going back to school, maybe getting haircuts for going back, buying school shoes, anything that you're going to need to do before the holidays are up. Make sure that you schedule them in at the start. So step 3 is to create a summer bucket list. And again, I have mine stuck up here in the fridge behind us so we can see it. And I've tried to keep it quite fun and colourful. And again, I got the girls involved. I wrote the title and I let Caitlin write all the things we're going to pop in our bucket list. And we've just done a square next to each thing on the list so that we can tick it off as we do them. And we tried to keep our ideas quite realistic. We didn't want to do anything too adventurous and out there or too expensive or time consuming. We tried to keep it quite small. Things like going on picnics. One of the things we wanted to do was try and make bath bombs these holidays, and that's something that both the girls wanted to do, and it's quite hard to find something that they can both do with the age gap. So things like that, we've tried to keep it quite realistic. We've written a list of all the things we want to do, and then that way we can just tick them off as we get them done. And just remember, your bucket list is for your family. It doesn't need to be something that's worthy of Pinterest that you can show to everyone and say, wow, look at the things we've done. It's things that you and your family are going to find fun. So if your kids really love making mud pies, then pop that on the list. Put an afternoon aside that you can go make mud pies in the garden, or if you want to go and collect nature, like flowers and leaves and things on a walk. It doesn't have to be anything complicated or expensive or anything that anyone else is going to think is amazing. It's just things that you and your family are going to enjoy and that are going to create some really fun summer memories. So don't worry about making your board really impressive, just make it ideal for your family. Step 4 is then to start filling out your visual planner. So once you have your bucket list and you know the things that you want to try and get done, then you can sit down with your calendar and work out when you're going to try and fit those things in. So things like if you have planned a day trip, that might be something you want to save for a weekend so you can all do it as a family if your other half is working or if you're working. And things like if you want to do something with another family member or friends, you'll have to work out when you can fit that in with them. So start filling out when you're going to fit different things into your planner. And then if you have certain weeks that are particularly quieter than others, you can put in things that maybe don't need to involve anyone else. Things like doing crafts or making bath bombs or things to do in the garden or the house. You can fill them in quieter weeks. And if you have weeks when you don't have very much on, you can then start to think about what you can do to fill those days. So it might be trips to the library, it could be just a trip to the park. You might want to arrange some play dates with friends. So you can start filling out your days. And what we've tried to do is try and make sure we have at least one thing on every day, even if it's just a trip to the park, because if you have nothing on that day, it can be a really long day, and it's a long time for our children to stay amused for a whole day of doing nothing. So we try and plan one thing, even if it's just a walk or going out on the bikes or something. We have one thing planned for every day to try and fill the holidays. So you're now going to have planned ahead all the things that you would like to try and do in the holidays, lots of fun things for you and your kids to look forward to. But the other thing that I would recommend doing is documenting your days as they happen. So sometimes things come up that you hadn't planned for, maybe friends pop in past, or maybe you just happen to nip into a cafe because you're passing somewhere and you have a really nice time, maybe you have some cake together or something. If there's things that come up that you didn't have planned that aren't in your calendar, make sure you document them after they happen and draw a little visual picture or graphic for your children that can't read. So a couple of examples here. We happened to be out a walk and we ran into a friend and they asked us round for a coffee. So I've just popped in the calendar that we went round to their house for a cup of tea, and I've just done a picture of a cup. Another one, we ended up needing something from the shop and I asked Elle if she fancied cycling down. So we just put bike ride to the shop and I've drawn a picture of her bike. It's not a great picture, it doesn't need to be, she knows what it means. And it's really nice because it means that at the end of the week or the end of a couple of weeks or each day, we can look back and see the fun things that we've done. And it's really good for the kids to see what we've been up to, because sometimes if someone asks you on the spot, what have you been up to in the holidays? And you just think, oh, I've not been away anywhere, I haven't done anything, we've just kind of been about the house. But actually when we look back in our calendar, we've done loads of fun things, and it's really good for me and the kids to see all the different things that we've accomplished over the holidays. And it's also really nice to look back on for memories, and we can reminisce about some of the fun things that we did that we maybe wouldn't remember because they don't stand out as being huge things. Like we had a fun trip to the Starbucks drive-thru where we live one evening. We just decided, it was quite late in the evening and we were all thinking about getting ready for bed, and we just thought, let's go for a drive to the Starbucks drive-thru, and we got the kids some fun like no caffeine, like frappuccinos and things, and they absolutely loved it. And that's things that we wouldn't necessarily remember if we hadn't logged it, but now we can look back and remember that fun trip that we had together. And the last step, and the thing I wanted to remind you, is just to have fun. Just enjoy the change of routine, the fact that you don't need to be up and out the door for school or nursery or whatever it is that you normally do. Just enjoy the kind of slower pace. If you like to have lazy mornings in your pajamas, then you can do that. Don't feel this huge pressure to do loads of fun and exciting things. You don't have to impress anyone. As long as you and your kids are having a great time, that's all that matters. Filling those 6 weeks and keeping kids amused, especially if they are bickering or it's raining and they're fed up stuck inside, things like that can be really daunting, and you think, how am I going to survive the holidays? But just try and enjoy the fact that you're not restricted to the school or nursery timetable. You don't have to be back by a certain time to pick up kids from school. You don't have to worry about getting dinner on the table for a certain time because the kids need to be in bed so they're up for school in the morning. They can go to bed a bit later, they can get up a bit later in the mornings. You can have some lazier days if that's what you feel like doing. Just try and enjoy the change of pace I know it's hard, but try to ditch the mum guilt or dad guilt that you're doing too much or you're not doing enough. Just try and chill out and make sure everybody has a nice, relaxed and happy summer filled with lots of fun memories. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you found this video useful. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you'd share it across social media by clicking the share button, and then your friends can hopefully benefit from it too. I'd love to hear in the comments, what week of school holidays are you in? Have yours started already? Are you halfway through? Maybe they haven't started yet. Let me know in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed, I would love it if you'd subscribe and stick around for some more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!